Welcome, welcome, all, to the Shapeshifting Detective. It's a new game. Or, it's not a new game, it's been out for quite a while, but we're playing a new game.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Ms. Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut.
What's up?
Exactly. Rewind.
Play it again, Sam. Oh! We weren't supposed to say what's up. Whoops. Rewind us.
You're listening to Radio August.
Oh my
Dark
god, we just got
Nights
rewind.
with Poe and Monroe.
It's 5 o'clock and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Ms. Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
Alright, we're not gonna say anything.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you?
The strong silent type achievement. No?
The dead girl. And this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time?
Yes?
It's a rhetorical question. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else. This person. This is who you are now. Understood? Splendid. If someone so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated. Deprecated.
I don't know what that means, but I'm already
We
scared.
expect you to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The 8-month-old Basset Hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpets are priceless. Now, how long are you staying for?
As long as it takes.
Yes. The chief said it may be a while. I can see you don't mind getting your hands dirty, though. There's not been many visitors of late.
Her with a British accent
Myrtle
is
brings some
fucking
tourists in.
nuts. Because I just finished the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker for my Patreon exclusive series. And she had an American accent, I think. And her British accent's fucking crazy. Also, her last name is Death, but it has an apostrophe in the middle of it to separate it. It's kind of crazy. Oh, in the bottom left, it's like, am I a female? Am I a male? And my name is Sam. Visitors,
It's
you
just you
say?
and some tarot readers at the moment. It's deathly quiet.
Just like your last name.
Yes, the murder. You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you? Chief Dupont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Damn.
Just finishing.
She's from the other game that we haven't played yet. From Contradiction. I'm just looking for my
Yeah.
room.
It's a big place. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading.
Maybe later I'll
That
come find
sounds
you.
super. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Lorraine's in 2, Lexi's in 3. Which room are you in, Sam? Good. We're neighbors. Just knock if you need me.
Highlights in the water as it travels past jutting rocks and reeds.
It's Jesse Cox!
It's a calming juxtaposition to the lifeless vessel in front of him. Cough. Cough. Coughing violently and uncontrollably. Lung adds his own blood sample to the victim's. He drops a barely touched cigarette to the floor and squishes it with his boot heel.
I forgot he's in this
Wiping his
game.
mouth with a now bloodied sleeve. He reaches into his jacket for something. Another cigarette. Gotta find me a good one, he mumbles. After lighting up, he produces a phone from his jacket and hits a speed dial number.
Oh my god.
After a few rings, it's answered.
This is so
Mrs.
good.
Hedges. I think I found her. It's not good, I'm afraid. Cough. Cough. Coughing up blood, the girl gurgles out a shriek and raises up from the dais. Although it may be, whispers Lung, before hanging up the phone. He steps backwards wearily, brandishing a revolver at the girl and calls out, "Hey, you!" And then more worriedly, "Who are you?" Looking down at her semi-naked, blood-drenched body, the girl sighs and turns her attention to Lung. "Did you murder her?" Lung squirms a little. Cough. 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 A lot of people wanted Zoe dead. I did them a favor, and I got a meeting with you. The girl
Oh,
draws
shit.
her robes tightly, steps off the dais, and moves slowly towards Lung. And what did you want exactly? Lung
my
steps
God, he does the
backwards in
girl.
rhythm with the girl. I'm dying. I don't want to die. You said you could grant me eternal life. The girl snarls at him. I did. That was before I knew you were a killer. Her pace quickens.
Dun dun dun.
Cough. Cough. Coughing more blood. Lung swipes with his sleeves and stands his ground. Then you can go back to hell, or wherever it is you came from. Bang! 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 The bullets whip holes through her chest.
This
and
is so
blood arcs
good.
ferociously from the wounds. She staggers with each impact, then begins to sprint at Lung. What the fuck? Lung crosses his arms to shield himself as the girl leaps onto him, crashing him backwards onto the grassy floor. Thud. Crunch. His head hits the angled stone with such force his
Oof.
eyes bulge. Blood pools behind him and in his mouth. You're mine now, the girl says, and reaches her hand into his chest, grabbing for something or letting something go. It only takes a second. A transfer of energy takes place that can only truly be visualized by travelers from a faraway dimension. Lung's eyes roll into the back of his skull. He He stops moving. The stream flows smoothly in the distance. The girl reaches for something in Lung's jacket. The phone. She hits speed dial. Mom? It's Zoe. I know. It was the detective you hired. He tried to kill me. I know. As fast as I can. I love you too. Okay. Bye. She puts the phone back, and her hand stops. Shaking. It moves as if it has a mind of its own. She tries to resist the movement, but it's too strong. It darts into the jacket and pulls out a cigarette. She sighs as she lets it put the cigarette to her lips and lights it. Cough. Cough. Coughing like it's her first smoke. She looks down pitifully at Lung and shrugs. Gotta find me a good one.
Welcome to Poe's Curiosity Shop.
What? That was so
So, what do
good,
we have
Jesse!
Well, this is certainly interesting. This, I would say you have to hold with two hands.
I got sucked in. I burst into his reading. It was so good! Oh my god. I forgot I was playing a game for a second. I was getting so mesmerized by his story, the tell of the story. It was so good. What a normal looking room. And it's got a back door for me? That's crazy. Looks really nice though. I would like to stay there too. Shifting locked.
Was that it might be people hugging, but most people think it shows an erotic scene. This is one of many painted leaden plates from the Khazars, and as such is over 1,000 years old.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector DuPont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs?
Can't believe it. It's Detective Jinx. He moved up. I need to play Contradiction so bad. And also Contradiction and Poe and Monroe after this. I think it's only on Steam, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Haven't really looked. It's not on PS5. I looked that up, but I wonder if it's on Xbox. Alright, sorry.
Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam, that's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw. 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers.
Why the
Because
tarot
they predicted
readers?
it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up.
Crazy.
It all sounded crazy to me. Tarot, the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd probably been smoking something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously. Because things, I don't have enough on her. That's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it?
Of course, sir.
Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. Do I have to spell it out? I'll make your problem go away, or at least sink it to the bottom of a pile of paperwork. Your old town? The problem? Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it. What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship at Juilliard. It was in the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m.
I like how that's like, there's like some things we can say.
Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating?
Some stuff we don't have to say. Okay.
Alex? And Alex has said that they have the same dream every night. Now it's a woman lying in a lake with her eyes closed and her black hair streaming beneath the surface. She must be dead. No one can breathe that long underwater.
Oh my god,
Then
who
she
are all
opens
these
her
people?
eyes, and I realize it's not her that's underwater.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already? Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though. Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they?
Yeah, so why didn't you use that analogy?
Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest.
Damn, okay.
Sorry. I'm gossiping. I don't want to talk ill of the dead. Ask her boyfriend.
So he can do it for her, for you.
Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already. They're tarot readers.
All of
I'm thinking
them?
of asking them to leave, actually.
All of them, though?
Demands already? I'm only thinking of doing it.
The repression of emotion, and then the drowning actually relates to emotional stress. So if I'm honest, Alex, and I hope you're listening to me now, I believe that perhaps something is weighing heavily on your mind, and perhaps it's a secret about someone else that you have. Perhaps it's something that you share, and it's something that you have.
Sam, is it? I'm
What's
sensing you're not here for a reading.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Chief DuPont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise.
We'll see about that.
I didn't. We've only been here 2 days. I understand it's suspicious me being a stranger in town, but it's the truth. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team.
I agree.
In my room, reading, I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me.
How did she...
To my room to chat for a little while. That was around 9, I think. You can ask her. They said the book was trashy. Look at this place. If her guest house is anything to go by, Violet's the opposite of trashy. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful.
And dangerous.
Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know.
Teeth, he said, And we always exist in the one we believe is most true. The roof of the dreamed.
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way. Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way. So it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me. I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair, a talented musician. No, not at all. You're completely barking up the wrong tree there. Spoken like the true killer, posing as a detective, trying to frame someone else for the murder.
Ooh, damn, he got me.
I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work.
Well, it depends what you... No, I'm not gonna go for that. What didn't work?
My prayer. That the girl would be safe. We did a reading. A group reading, actually. With a special tarot deck. The three of us get together and read the same cards. Bronwyn says it makes the whole thing stronger or more powerful or something. But I'm pretty sure I'd get the same answers just on my own. Mercury? It's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves kind of change. It's a special deck. I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it.
The gnawing emptiness of the house was bad enough without the gnawing in her stomach. Still, all this proved one thing. Penn still needed her mother. The first appointment at the clinic cost most of Mother's jewelry. Then, there was the vessel to pay for. That cost Penn her books and a few items of clothes.
Hi. Sam, is it? Come on in. Make yourself at home. Mi casa
es su casa.
Come on. I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is?
Death?
Everybody thinks that. It's such a cliche. The death card doesn't even mean death. Most of the time. The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know. Swords in general are bad. She's like my big sister, so pretty well. No. The cards told us to. Well, the cards of Rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery-pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do.
A job?
I didn't say job. I said job.
Job, huh?
Okay. We make a, cheese obelisk. A chop.
She's clearly
and depending on the shape of that chop, we get different answers to questions.
Uh-huh.
No, you don't. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were, painting our nails.
Can you
You
prove
can
it?
ask Bronwyn. We were together.
Yeah, okay.
Not together. That sounded kinkier than I meant it to.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
Dimitri's Descent by Chris Hoppenbrowers, read by The Raw Geek. Dimitri stared out into the pitch-black darkness outside of his bedroom window. It felt unnatural to be here, in this place, so far away from home. With some regret, he thought back to the day he volunteered for a top-secret project at an undisclosed location. When he had first heard those words, undisclosed location, he had assumed the location would be somewhere on Earth. Instead, he now found himself on the far side of the moon. Dr. Dimitri Sheffield, an expert in the field of archaeology, hadn't had a breath of fresh air in 8 months. This, combined with the moon's low gravity, a lack of sunlight, the station's depressing food pastes, and the project's mounting work pressure, had gone so far to affect his physical appearance. He had even started to avoid mirrors, in fear of catching a glimpse of himself, a pale, gaunt carcass of a man, more akin to a ghost than any living being. But the work kept him going. It had to. Dimitri kept reminding the others, and himself, that they were writing history here. Unimaginable discoveries had been made these last few months. Discoveries he had never dared dream of, much less be a part of. When he and the other scientists first arrived here, their excitement had been almost unbearable. But that initial spark of enthusiasm had faded, like a falling star in the night sky. On the morning of his 249th day on the moon, or was it night? It was hard to tell up here. Dimitri boarded the elevator to the excavation site, as he had been doing for the last 248 days. He was joined in the elevator by the other 3 members of his scientific team. Dr. Ian Remington, Dr. Hanako Yutani, and Dr. Wolfgang Whitfield were all experts in their fields, those being paleontology, linguistics, and exobiology respectively. Dimitri glanced at them and for the first time noticed their hollow cheeks and the dark circles under their eyes. It seemed the moon had taken its toll on Earth's best and brightest. As they waited for the elevator to reach the bottom, they went through their schedule for the day, which centered around their latest discovery, a hole of less than 2 meters wide that seemed to go on for several kilometers into the ground. Its edges were most unusual in that they were astonishingly smooth down to a molecular level. Indeed, it was clear that this hole was not a natural formation. But neither could it have been man-made. The hole was drilled, or otherwise created, over 50 million years ago, long before the dawn of the first man. This was one of the few things they had been able to ascertain about their mystifying discovery, and the 4 scientists knew there was much more to be done. The plan, then, was to send more probes down the hole in order to determine how much deeper it went. They had been doing this for the last 14 days, much to Dimitri's growing frustration. At this point, Dimitri started to wonder if the pit even had a bottom, and dreaded what they would find there if it did. Is it really wise to send more probes down the hole? Dimitri asked as they went over their plans. The 3 other scientists looked at him questioningly as they waited for him to elaborate. All probes so far have malfunctioned at a depth of 500 meters. Are you really planning to do the same thing while expecting different results? Are you calling us insane? Asked Dr. Whitfield, pretending to be offended. Do you have another suggestion? Dr. Yutani offered. Without much thought, Dimitri blurted out, "We could send a person down there." Then, again without thinking, added, "One of us, perhaps." The others eyed him with concern. "I'm not sure that's wise," said Dr. Remington, clearly echoing the thoughts of the other 2 scientists. Perhaps it was Dimitri's frustration with the project's slow progress and his eagerness for a breakthrough that prompted him to volunteer himself, much to the surprise of the others. "I will," he insisted. "I'll do it." The 3 scientists all looked at each other, silently wondering if Dimitri had gone crazy, but they were too tired, too drained to argue. "Well," Dr. Whitfield conceded with a sigh, "if you're really that sure about it." The others offered no protest. "All right, Dr. Sheffield, you're all hooked up and ready to go." The crew member, who had helped him put on his rappelling harness, performed a final check on the crane, which was normally used for lowering the much lighter probes down the abyssal shaft. Dr. Remington had initially objected to using the feeble apparatus, but when no alternative had presented itself, Dimitri had once again insisted that he be strapped in. Dimitri took a deep breath. "Let's do it then." The 3 other scientists standing behind the table with monitoring equipment each gave him a nod, and with that, Dimitri disappeared into the depths. "Dr. Sheffield, do you read me?" Dimitri was startled by the sudden voice in his ear. He'd almost forgotten about the earpiece he was wearing. "Yes, Dr. Yutani, I hear you loud and clear," he replied. "All right, we're going to accelerate your descent a bit, otherwise we'll be here all day." Dr. Yutani sounded tired. "Besides, we don't want you down there any longer than necessary." "Neither do I," thought Dimitri. Even in the moon's low gravity, he could feel his stomach drop as his descent quickly accelerated. Dr. Yutani...
Find somewhere safe to transition. Okay. You're not a superhero.
I have to do it. I have to be the chief.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
To himself. After plummeting what was probably...
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been? What were you doing last night?
Overly nice. She's covering her tracks well, if she has anything to hide.
What was it I asked you to do again?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude. You're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
What were you doing last night?
The tunnel. Only now did it occur to him how narrow the tunnel...
Chief DuPont. What a pleasant surprise. I think we've covered just about everything twice over, but if you think I'm hiding something...
Who are you really, Bronwyn Castle?
Does it bother you, Chief DuPont, knowing there are things in this world that aren't black and white? You don't know what to file me under, and that makes you uncomfortable. Or perhaps you've already made up your mind about me. Why don't you tell me who you think I am?
I love her hostility.
You're a
it's really
con
funny. You're a con
I haven't
artist.
asked anyone for a penny.
Here, it's too dark now to take a photo, but... Dimitri reached into another pouch and carefully took out a pencil and a piece of paper.
Good
Rain.
evening, Chief Dupont.
Dorota's
Dupont.
family. What does the tarot say about them?
I can do a reading if you want.
Yes.
It's the Five of Cups. It talks about loss and dealing with that loss. I don't think you need a tarot reader to interpret that one.
Bronwyn
God.
ever been arrested?
Not since I've met her. She's a lawful good type character. If you play D&D.
I do indeed,
Lexi
and
ever
I
been
know
in
what that
trouble with
is.
the police?
No. Not to my knowledge. She's sweet and innocent. Or haven't you picked up on that yet?
Yeah, sweet and innocent people, I don't know. Interesting.
Shaft. Pull me up! Get me out of here, please! He swore he heard laughter coming from down below. As Dimitri's heart was beating in his chest and his stomach started to turn inside out, he tried climbing up the
What
rope
the
in a
fuck
panic.
am I listening to?
Finally, he felt the sweet release of slowly being lifted up towards the surface.
What's up, Lexi?
Chief Inspector, you gave me a shock. What is it? What have I done?
Yeah,
Tell
what
me
have
about
you
Bronwyn.
done?
She's an Aquarius, her favourite colour is green. What else do you need to know?
Is she your leader?
Leader? This isn't a cult. She looks after me and Rain. Make sure we eat healthy and brush our teeth.
Why are you here in August?
Well, it's not for the nightlife, I can tell you that. This is where the cards told us to go. I guess you could call it destiny.
Do you know anyone here?
No, I can honestly swear I don't know any Augustivs? Augustonians? Augustins until we got here.
What were you doing last night?
Nothing. I mean, I was here all night. This cat's on a Bron can vouch for me.
He's made at other lunar sites, Dr. Utani was able to create a rough translation of the word.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
Was a concept to be closely associated with wickedness.
You don't trust me, do you, Violet? Is it because I read tarot? Why don't you let me pull a card for you?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Did you sleep well last night?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't see you yesterday evening.
I'm not doing that.
Did how the light could be on if his room was still
I'm
shrouded
not
in
doing that.
darkness.
That's crazy.
He rubbed
Oh,
the
that's
heels of his
crazy.
hand.
Mrs. Gallagher, an unexpected pleasure.
Oh, he has the hots for her
How
already.
long are you planning to be here?
In town? I really don't know. Until the tarot tells us to leave, or you kick us out, obviously.
How did you know Dorota was going to die?
We didn't know she was definitely going to die, only that she was definitely in danger of dying. Tarot cards can tell you a lot when you know what you're looking for.
Is anyone here? He asked, and waited. Again, there was no response. But as he listened closer, he noticed another presence in the room. He could hear them breathing. Hello? Can you hear me? He tried again. I can't see. I think I'm blind. The breathing became heavier, but there was no reply. Without knowing what came over him, Dimitri yelled out in frustration and fear, stomping his feet like a frustrated child. Please help me! The breathing suddenly stopped and changed into a deeply unsettling guttural sound. Fear slowly started to take hold of Dimitri. Just when he was about to turn around and run into the hallway, the guttural noise faded into what sounded like a dying breath. Held back by doubt, but compelled by curiosity, he approached the source of the sound. He reached out his hand, but no one was there. Dimitri was both perplexed and overcome by a frightful panic. He felt like he was going mad. Nothing made sense. He just wanted to leave this nightmare and go home. But home was a million miles away. He knew he was alone here, and no one would be coming to help him. It was then that he heard the voices again whispering to him. As the murmurs grew louder, Dimitri was almost able to make out individual words in a language wholly unknown to him, or any other man. Its harsh consonants and unearthly vowels chilled him to the bone. Dimitri covered his ears to make it stop, but the nameless voices only grew more incessant, hounding him, compelling him to listen, until he understood the meanings of their words. This is how you die. Dimitri tried to scream, but there was no sound. He reached for his throat and felt his skin peel away. Dr. Sheffield? Come in, Dr. Sheffield? Dimitri was suddenly startled by the voice in his earpiece. He didn't realize where he was, until he noticed he was suspended in the air. He was...
Hello, Violet. Is everything okay? Ignore the mess. I was just going to tidy it up.
Did you have a pleasant evening last night?
Great, thanks. The room's really lovely.
But you weren't in this room, were you? I didn't see you around.
I stayed here. I was playing solitaire with Bronwyn.
Isn't solitaire for one player?
Yeah, I was playing and she was scoring.
Uh-huh.
The first class seems to be about abuse or torture. Or
My bluff
punishment,
worked.
added Dimitri, a fearful realization in his voice. Well, yes, replied Dr. Yutani. She looked at Dimitri with bewilderment, more surprised than impressed by his linguistic knowledge.
Okay. I'm gonna be... him.
Hello, I'm Rain.
I'm Rain. Actually, I'm gonna be her first.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
Die here alone. The other scientists quietly glanced at each other. Dr. Yutani was the first to speak. I'm sure it won't play out like that. Her words were meant to be...
Is there something I can help with, Miss Castle?
Miss Castle?
I hope we're not being too much trouble.
It's very brave of you to tell the chief that Dorota will be murdered and then stick around afterwards. I'd have run for sure.
You strike me as someone braver than that. Why?
You're prime suspect, aren't you? You look strong enough to strangle another woman. Even if you're innocent, a jury would probably convict you.
Even if I'm innocent? You look strong enough to strangle an...
Well, if you can't pay for your rooms, you might just find out.
Oh, damn.
He couldn't wait to go back home. Later that night, Dimitri awoke to the sound of cold and hollow whispers.
Bron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts on Dorota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern. Do you think it's another right?
A right?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Stop it? Birmingham?
The Traveller, dead girls ring any bells?
Traveller?
If it follows the same pattern as Birmingham, we're looking at 2 more victims.
Tipped forward and free. I expected to see a dripping cross-section of frontal lobe, nasal cavities, and sinuses.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Well, if you're worried, I should be worried. Why are you worried? Should I be worried?
Are you worried?
Only if you are. This could go on in circles for a while. Let's just keep cool and stay in our rooms.
You, free yourself.
Alright.
Hello, I'm Rain.
It is the others I must set free.
Ooh, Violet's not there.
And nightmares.
With Poe and Monroe. So, Helen's written in with her dream.
Have you met the new detective yet? We're basically under 24-hour surveillance now.
Do you think Sam's onto us?
Onto what exactly?
The real reason we're here.
Sam's not a mind reader. At least I don't think so. Just try not to let anything slip.
Very interesting. So she is a capability, but I would...
Rain, I'm so worried about Bronwyn. What are we going to do?
Why are you worried about...
The chief thinks she killed Dorota.
Maybe she did kill Dorota.
That's fucking crazy, I'm not saying that.
Who, wants to change, but somehow goes...
Okay.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm Lexi.
Is that you want to reveal something private about your life, but you...
Hello, Lexi. What can I do for you?
Please don't... The police want alibis from everyone for last night. Please don't ask us to leave.
Have you been speaking to Sam? You're safe for the minute.
That sounds ominous.
If one of your crew did murder Dorota, you can't really stay here, can you?
The police want alibis from everyone for last night.
I'm not saying that.
Felt unnatural to be here in this place, so far away from home. With some regret, he thought back to the day he volunteered for a top-secret project at an undisclosed location. When he had first heard those words, undisclosed location, he had assumed the location would be somewhere on Earth. Instead, he now found himself on the far side of the moon. Dr. Dimitri Sheffield, an expert in the field of archaeology, hadn't had a breath of fresh air in 8 months. This, combined with the moon's low gravity, a lack of sunlight, the station's depressing food pastes, and the project's mounting work pressure, had gone so far to affect his physical appearance. He had even started to avoid mirrors, in fear of catching a glimpse of himself, a pale, gaunt carcass of a man, more akin to a ghost than any living being. But the work kept him going. It had to. Dimitri kept reminding the others, and himself, that they were writing history here. Unimaginable discoveries had been made these last few months. Discoveries he had never dared dream of, much less be a part of. When he and the other scientists first arrived here, their excitement had been almost unbearable. But that initial spark of enthusiasm had faded, like a falling star in the night sky. On the morning of his 249th day on the moon, or was it night? It was hard to tell up here. Dimitri boarded the elevator to the excavation site, as he had been doing for the last 248 days. He was joined in the elevator by the other 3 members of his scientific team. Dr. Ian Remington, Dr. Hanako Yutani, and Dr. Wolfgang Whitfield were all experts in their fields, those being paleontology, linguistics, and exobiology respectively. Dmitri glanced at them and for the first time noticed their hollow cheeks and the dark circles under their eyes. It seemed the moon had taken its toll on Earth's best and brightest. As they waited for the elevator to reach the bottom, they went through their schedule for the day, which centered around their latest discovery, a hole of less than 2 meters wide that seemed to go on for several kilometers into the ground. Its edges were most unusual in that they were astonishingly smooth down to a molecular level. Indeed, it was clear that this hole was not a natural formation. But neither could it have been man-made. The hole was drilled, or otherwise created, over 50 million years ago, long before the dawn of the first man. This was one of the few things they had been able to ascertain about their mystifying discovery, and the 4 scientists knew there was much more to be done. The plan, then, was to send more probes down the hole in order to determine how much deeper it went.
What's up, Lexi? I'm sensing something's on your mind.
I'm worried about our alibi.
Don't worry about that. We don't have anything to hide. I'm more worried about Ray. Since when did he start praying?
You think he's lying?
Of course not. This is Rain we're talking about. I was just saying it's odd, that's all. Maybe he's found God?
Can't knock it till you try it.
And down there. Then, again without thinking, added,
Something's weird, isn't it? Mom seems strange today.
How are you?
Do you think Dorota was planning on marrying Oscar?
Oh damn,
What
he
makes you
liked
say
her.
that?
Well, nothing. It was just something I thought I saw. It doesn't matter.
Huh.
he insisted. I'll do it. The 3 scientists all looked at each other, silently wondering if Dmitri had gone crazy. Offered no protest. All right, Dr. Sheffield, you're all hooked up and ready to... Helen Harness performed the final check on the crane.
Mercury? Sure. I'll just get it. It feels a bit sacrilegious just spreading it out to show you. It doesn't really answer questions, it more asks them. Do you want it to ask you a question, Sam?
Sure.
It wants to know if you're happy being the person you are now.
Oh shit. Not really.
Mercury agrees with you. It's nice that you're being honest with me and with yourself.
Thought Dmitri.
Interesting.
Even in the moon's low gravity.
You okay there, buddy? Seem a
Dr.
little
Utani
nervous.
checked in with him at regular intervals to confirm that their communication was still working, and to notify him of the depth.
In her bedroom, she was naked, strangled. No signs of sexual activity of any kind. It was a weird scene to look at. There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know. Board here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you? Look, if it's about the pills, I already know. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room last night. Shame they can't agree which one. The tarot readers have mentioned a job. We don't know what. That's it. Do I have an alibi for last night? Do I? Okay. I was here, and there are video monitors that will prove it. Thanks for ruling me out, genius.
Alright.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating
I
the
made it
murder
through
of
the
Dorota
first
Shaw
hour.
are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe.
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
I like getting wet. That's 6 o'clock with Poe
Hey,
and Monroe.
yo! Next
Get out
chapter.
there, please! He swore he heard laughter coming from down below. As Dimitri's heart was beating in his chest and his stomach started to turn inside out.
Who are you?
I'm the shape-shifting detective. No.
Right, because the local police are so rubbish. It's been a day, a whole day. It's typical of them. Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, you know, hanging out. I left at about 5. Playing football. It was just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up. Not much. They always seemed happy to see me. I don't think they meant it. They wanted Dorota to focus on her music. Not long, a couple of months maybe. We did care for each other. No one. She was really popular. What, you mean watching us? That's disturbing. No, it couldn't have been. The only place you could have hidden would be in the closet, and I suppose someone could have hidden in the closet. Yeah, it's big enough for 2 people to have sex in. But not 4.
What the fuck?
She had a few kinks, nothing weird. Yeah, a band from the 60s. I'm not discussing this with you. Clothes, mainly. I did see something that freaked me out a bit. She had a wedding dress in there. She knew I'd seen it, but we never talked about it. Not even as a joke.
He awoke later that night, startled by the sounds of loud whispering, and switched on the light next to his bed. It wasn't working, and his eyes hadn't yet gotten used to the dark, so he instead listened.
Your ability isn't endless. It will run out at some point.
I know that. At least now I do. I'm gonna be Oscar.
I'm Oscar. Is there anything else I can do?
And the horror, as he came to the terrifying realization that he had gone.
Oscar Wainwright, what a surprise.
And quickly, but carefully, made his way to the door. Opened the door and stumbled into the hallway. Help!
Not here.
Help! No one answered. He continued
Not there either.
to be consistently occupied by crew members returning from their shifts. Is anyone here? He asked, and waited. Again, there was no response. Can't see. I think I'm blind. The breathing became heavy.
She flaunts herself. Her body. Had boudoir photographs taken. Who do you think those photos were for, Sam? Her mother? Not really, just gossip. Apparently she went to have some portrait photos done and started stripping off. Weston's photographic. Zach Weston. He'll get himself into trouble one of these days. If you keep taking pictures of pretty girls in their underwear, somebody's going to get upset. Zach's the local photographer. You should go and talk to him, Sam. You're good at talking. At Weston's photographic? Off the but he's always there.
It's probably him.
Sorry, Sam. I forgot you've only been here an hour or so. You've come and gone so much already, it feels like you've been here much longer. Vicar's son? No, as far as I can tell, Oscar is a good boy. But we've all got different faces now, haven't we, Sam? Masks we wear. I could be a satanic cultist behind closed doors, but you'd never know. Would you, Sam?
He didn't realise where he was until he noticed he was suspended in the air. He was still in...
Yes, he came to see me. He wanted to know that she was okay, spiritually speaking. No, I wouldn't know how. I'm a tarot reader, not a medium. Maybe I should have pretended, though. Made up some fake message from her to give him some comfort. You lie once, and you just have to keep going, don't you? Oh, she gets easily confused. Youth of today. Fine. Jeeve Dupont was breathing down her neck, so we thought it would be simpler if we stuck together. If these walls weren't separating our rooms, then technically it'd be true. To protect Lexi. None of this is her fault, and she gets anxious easily. I was just trying to take the pressure off. I'm sorry, Sam. I never usually lie. Rain's a big boy, he can handle himself. Besides, I'd be highly suspicious if Rain claimed to be doing anything else other than reading on a Monday night. That's pretty much all he does every night.
Huh. We've had this conversation before.
Sam, what can I do for you? We didn't. Lexi used a Ouija board to get the name. It's Lexi's thing. I don't personally go near them, but in this case, it did help. No. Lexi needs to give it context from the tarot reading. A lot of the time, it comes up with nothing. Or a sordid comment directed at Lexi. I think that's why she keeps using it, to be honest. Once we thought there was going to be a murder, Lexi used the Ouija board to find out the victim's name. It spelled out the rota. Just... This is going to sound weird. Most people believe Ouija boards contact the dead. So if Lexi contacts a dead person, that person needs to know what happens in the future. Ergo, maybe the person she's contacting is from the future. A time traveler who died here. Yes. Well, not just time travel, time and space travel is also possible. If we accept the fact there are multiple realities, we must also accept there are others like us who found a way to travel between these realities. We're trying to save people.
It's obviously not working.
I said we're trying. We have a gift. We have Mercury, the tarot. It tells us where bad things are going to happen, and we try and stop them. Birmingham. We couldn't save anyone there either. The problem with travellers is... Well, let's put a pin in this one, Sam. Let me ask Bronwyn. If she says it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to talk about it.
Now we go
Attached
and
to
become
what looks
Bronwyn.
like a square? No.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
Very cute.
Mm-hmm.
They've got small engraving on
well.
them.
You can tell Sam about Birmingham. What did you tell the police you were doing last night?
I told them the truth, that I was in my room. I'm not sure if they can fact check it, but it's the only alibi I've got. Kind of wish we'd all stuck together now.
When should we do another reading? The police think it's me, don't they?
Looks that way. Have you been feeling possessed lately?
Why possessed?
Sorry, too soon.
You can tell Sam about Birmingham.
Well, what can I tell Sam that you haven't already?
You know Sam likes a fact check. You're right. Don't say anything. You know...
I don't really know Sam. But if you're sure, then I guess I'm sure.
Right? Bad spirits? Or...
Not necessarily bad spirits.
And that's how you do that. Yeah.
You've been a great sport today.
Oh.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
We sneaky with it. What's up, Violet?
Unannounced.
I'm gonna talk to
Sam,
Lexi
back from
first.
already?
No.
No, I think Bronwyn met him though.
When?
This morning. He only wanted to see her. I guess he didn't want anyone else to hear what he had to say. I didn't. How did you find out? Am I in trouble? Ron was worried about me not having an alibi. She was logged in doing phone readings, so she's alright. But there's nothing to prove that I was here. I was though, cross my heart and hope to die. Oh, it's just your run-of-the-mill spirit communication device? Want to know how it works?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, okay. So Ouija boards send us messages from the spirit world, right? But where is the spirit world? I mean, there's planets and stars in space. The spirit world must be really far away beyond all that.
Wrong.
We're so far to travel, messages from the spirit world must take ages to get here. Like how light from the sun takes 8 minutes or something to reach us. You still with me? Oh, you're sweet. Where was I? Oh, so here's my point. The spirit world is actually several hours ahead of us. That's how we get messages about things that haven't happened yet. That's how we got Dorota's name. Because in the spirit world, she was already dead.
That kind of makes a little sense. Kind of. Because time is relative and it's all happening at once, so technically what we're experiencing now is happening now, but in the future we are already experiencing something right then, and then in the past we're experiencing our past at the same time we're experiencing our present and future. So technically if we die in the future and we're still alive in the present, then the spiritual world would be like Aoshi dead, and that's like a one type of reality. But if you change the course of reality of this timeline, then another timeline will branch out into another timeline, and that's what the multi-universe theory is like, which I believe in. Sounds fucking crazy, but if you think about the logics, time is relative and it's all happening at once, and all the things that are going by are like like one minuscule detail could be different and change your entire world. It could happen. That doesn't mean you should dwell on the what ifs. You should just dwell on what you're doing now, and focus on what you're doing now. Not focus on the what ifs or what happens, what you could do better in the past, and just focus on the future. But I got an achievement for listening to her theory.
I know, mind-blowing. Traveller, that's a really old role-playing game, isn't it? Oh, did he now? Well then, you know what I know. I guess you must be a part of our inner circle. How does it feel?
A former monk, expelled for some scandal involving a woman. I guess that's how... Have no doubt. The night Tenzin left, he taught me how the universe...
It's 7 o'clock, and here's the latest August update. Chief DuPont of August Police is
Another
urging
hour just went
residents to
by.
be vigilant tonight following the brutal murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Whilst he stresses there is no immediate threat to the community at large, residents should be on the lookout until the killer is in police custody. Miss Shaw was found strangled in her bedroom home last night. Poe, I heard she was found by her mother.
Truly awful. Mother caught me up to all sorts of mischief in my bedroom. Also in the news, emergency services were called to the crossroads at Grange Avenue and Church Street following a collision between two cars. There are no reports of any serious injuries, but you might want to take a different route for now.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights, Poe.
Stick with me, doll. I'll keep you safe.
I'm not going anywhere. That's 7 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I don't know what I'm missing. I think we're good.
I dive.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights.
I'm thinking we
Poe and
stop
Monroe.
this here,
The sprinklers hissed down.
and we stop for this stream for now, and come back next time. Probably tomorrow. At 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, please check the description down below. Check out my Patreon. I have a bunch of bonus 4K PS5 gameplay on there. A bunch of extra exclusive stories, and I also have my Wattpad description, as well as the link, as well as the link to my books on Amazon, and my Discord server. Be sure to go check those out. And thank you for all the support. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.